Hello, my name is Sippies, and you can call me B. And welcome back to some more Winter's Wish. I felt like I haven't recorded a video in a while. I've been busy because I had like my first collabs. It's been really awesome. Everyone's been so nice to me, and I really appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. Back to some more Ultimate. Ultimate. I don't know. In that sense, I was very thankful for Yoichi and Yukuga's assistance.
Having you around is greatly reassuring. Genjuro,
Oh, he's talking to that guy.
Having you around is greatly reassuring. Genjuro. Having you around is greatly reassuring, Genjuro. You'll be a huge help. Genjuro.
You think so? A bit of an exaggeration, no?
I don't think so. We'll be counting on you too, Yoichi. Thanks for coming to help.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean it though.
Sounded like Tojo was cracking a joke, but I could tell he really did trust Yoichi. You seemed to trust Kuga a lot more, though. It was kind of heartwarming seeing the trust in his eyes when he looked at Kuga. You have a lot of faith in Kuga, don't you?
Guess so. Genjuro and I were awakened as vessels the same year. That's probably why I feel kinship with him.
He was awakened a few months after me. He was awakened a few months after me. I suppose that's why I'm older than Kunitaka on paper.
A few months hardly counts.
Huh? But it's true. I was awakened first. I laughed quietly, watching them go at it.
What's so funny?
Oh, I'm sorry. You just sounded so much like brothers. I couldn't help myself. He must have not expected me to say that. Tojo and Kuga looked at each other, puzzled.
No one's ever said that before, but brothers, huh? Why not lovers?
Although surprised, Tojo didn't seem to dislike it. Kuga was also smiling slightly. Is he? Huh, he is. It was hard to tell. It kind of looked like he was frowning from where I was looking at him. Seeing their reaction made them look even more like brothers to me. After a little while, I went to the veranda by myself. Sigh. Despite having a discussion about it, we ended up going our separate ways without deciding on a concrete course of action. And what we settled on was... next time a Blightfall spawned, It froze. Yippee! Yatta! I'm gonna see if I can get a new capture card soon. But bills come first. Next time a Blightfall spawned, we were to rush the scene, play it by ear, and take the opportunity to gather as much information as we could. In other words, no different from what we were doing before. Winging it means I'll really have to think on my feet. I know I won't get specific instructions without a plan in place, but what should I do? This will be hard. Hey, Komame! Komame's chirp of protest snapped me back to my senses. Sorry. Hang on a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Be my little bitch. I was so wrapped up in my own thoughts that I paused in the middle of getting Komame's rice ready. When I went back to prepping her food, Komame hopped down the veranda. Chirping like that had brightened her back up. She's so cute. You love rice, don't you, Komame? Yeah! Right. I'm pretty sure we have some extra spinach too. Well, do you like some?
Sure.
You don't want no spinach? You don't want any? You'd rather have rice? He gets stars in his eye. While I smiled fondly at Komame in her spirited responses, I was thinking about the Blightfall. Once I'm done feeding her, I think I'll head back out and gather intel. Maybe I'll find something useful. Just then, I saw someone from inside the house coming towards me.
Hey, Soup.
Oh, Dojo? This was a bit of a surprise, since the Oniwabun hardly ever came here except to give their reports.
Mind if I sit next to you?
Of course. You're welcome to.
Excuse me then.
Komame hid behind me when Tojo sat down. I looked back over at Tojo, smiling with strained amusement at Komame's reaction to him. You hardly ever come here. Did something happen? Oh, oops. That was not Soup. Wait. Oh, no, she did say that. Oh, there was something else you needed to pass along from the discussion we had Oh, that was a question. That makes more sense. Oh, was there something else you needed to pass along from the discussions we had earlier? I asked, wondering. Tojo shook his head.
Nah, nothing like that.
If you must know, I came here to see you. Wait, me?
Yeah. I figured with everything that's happened recently, you probably had a lot on your mind.
Apparently, he'd come to check on me. He might have just been looking out for me as an Oniwaban colleague, but it made me genuinely okay, whatever. Happy that he cared about me. Thank you so much. It's definitely been challenging dealing with this Blightfall, but I've been doing just fine otherwise. Everyone's so kind to me. I need to pull myself together and be someone you can rely on too. A strained smile crossed his lips when I gave this enthusiastic response.
You're plenty reliable already. In fact, we've been ignoring you because you're so dependable. We haven't been paying much attention to anything besides work since bringing you to Edo. Especially not your living situation.
No need to worry about that. I'm actually living much more comfortably than I ever did when I lived in the mountains by myself. I'm very grateful.
Really? Well, good. If you ever need anything, just speak up.
Will do. He's such a nice guy.
Sure?
Yeah?
I thought nice face always finished.
Komame popped out of nowhere, perhaps drawn in by the friendly and relaxed vibe between us, and looked me in the face.
Oh, how have you been, Komame? Doing good?
What's your damage? The second Tojo reached out to her, Komame chirped menacingly at him from behind me. She chirped menacingly! Hey, Komame! I hurriedly scooped Komame up. She would have attacked him if I hadn't.
Man, she hates me.
Despite laughing, Tojo looked a bit disheartened as he pulled his hand away.
I should have known. She always acts this way towards me.
I wonder why. Aw, Tojo looks so sad. Komame seemed to have zero interest in him, preening herself in my hands. Well, I got a long road ahead of me here. Hoping to persuade her otherwise, I brought her up to eye level in my hands. Don't be like that, Komame. You owe me your life, you know? She looked the other way when I chided her, almost like she understood what I was saying. Oh, Kamame, why do you hate him so much?
I know why. I treated her wounds just after taking her into my care. I made sure to apply a salve to them every single day. Although it's effective, the salve also stings.
So stingy.
With day after day of that, she learned to recognize me as the guy who does things that hurt her.
Really? After everything you did to... Really? After everything you did to help her recover?
Sparrows don't know what salves or treatments are. Can't help that she's wary if she thinks I'll do something else to hurt her.
Despite saying there was nothing he could do, he still seemed a bit disappointed by it. I could see where Komame was coming from, but I also felt bad leaving Tojo to mope because she hated him so much. Isn't there something I can do? I'd love to fix her bad impression of him, at the very least. But she's an animal, so she doesn't understand words. Oh? Just then I remembered the bag of rice I placed on my lap. Rice. Komame's favorite food. If all goes well, Komame and Tojo might get along better. Which strategy should I try? Have Kunitaka feed her. Get a positive association with him. Right. How about I have Tojo give her some rice? It might not work instantly, but she might eventually warm up to Tojo if he gives her rice every single day. Tojo, I had a thought just now. No! Fuck you! Screw you! Why do you do this to me? Then, I quickly explained the idea that had just occurred to me. Oops. No.
You really think it'll work? I was the one who fed her before you came along, Soup. But she never warmed up to me.
Maybe. Or maybe she'll act differently this time. Why not give it a try?
If you insist.
Thank you. Let's hurry up and give it a shot. I handed Tojo the bag.
Komame, look, I got rice.
He gently offered her some. Although wary of her mortal enemy, Komame seemed to recognize he had rice, her absolute favorite food, in his hands. She's conflicted. Oh, yeah. I could tell she was conflicted, scared of him, but also keen on eating the rice. Although wary, she eventually approached him with caution. If this keeps up, she might even eat the rice out of his hand. Tojo also watched her expectantly. Yeah, Koi, Miss Cherry. Miss Cherry. It was Miss Terry, but then... Attack! There's some music. Look at she's so small.
What?
Attack!
Ow, ow, ow!
Out of nowhere, Komame started fiercely pecking at Tojo's hand. Komame, stop that! She continued pecking at his hand, paying no heed to my call for restraint. It seemed like Komame was trying to make him let go of the rice because she absolutely did not want to eat it out of his hand. She really hates his guts. I'm almost impressed.
Ow, okay, I'll let go of the rice, just don't peck me.
Komame's painful attack made Tojo admit defeat and set the rice on the floor. Komame used peck. It was super effective. Chirp, 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 chirp. Oh my gosh. But this didn't quell her anger. Komame was now hurtling across the veranda. People didn't visit the base often, but she could get hurt if someone stepped on her by accident. Oh yeah, because she can't fly. I can't let her keep wreaking havoc. Wreaking havoc. I stood up and slowly approached Komame. Komame! Be a good girl and come back over here. Panicking, I attempt to capture her, but she nimbly evaded me. Nimbly. Koma! The second I tried to pivot in the other direction, my I think I know what's gonna happen. It's the trope. I think so. Let's see. There's gonna be a CG. There's gonna be a CG. Uh-oh. It was my fault for going overboard. I fell backwards head first. In this position, I couldn't even put my hands out to brace myself. Oh no, wonder what's going to happen. I'm gonna hit my head on the ground. She just bonks. The moment that crossed my mind. Watch out! Oof.
Oof. Oof. Soup. Are you okay?
So is there gonna be CG? Yeah. I wasn't sure what had just happened, but I'd apparently avoided whacking my head against the ground. You saved me. I only spaced out for a brief second before realizing the situation I was in, which left me all shook up. CG.
Oh my god!
I was not expecting that. She looks cute though.
It's like...
Because, like, you know, he don't really have, like, feelings and shit because he's a Oniwaban. I had fallen onto my bed. His heart was sealed away. Oh. I'd fallen on my back and was lying on the floor. And for some reason, Tojo was sitting on top of me. An onlooker would have thought he was pinning me down. Huh? What's going on? Why is he on top of me? How did this happen? Because you tripped. Because you're an Otome girly girl. Logically, we must have landed in this position by accident when I slipped, yes? And Tojo tried to help me, yes. Right, keep it cool. He was just watching out for me. Keep it cool. Keeping cool was all but impossible with this position, though. I can't. This is so embarrassing. Tojo showed concern for me while remaining in that risque pose, paying no heed to the inner turmoil I was going through.
Ew, that was a close call. Did you hit your noggin?
My noggin? Only just realized when he mentioned it. Huh? Is that a hand under my head? He kept me from hitting my head by cupping it in his hand. Wow, his hands are so big. Like yaoi hands, but this isn't a yaoi. Wait a sec. I'm sorry, did it hurt?
Eh, just a little. Nothing to worry about compared to you hitting your noggin. Still, you lost your footing from a pretty impressive stance. Took me by surprise because it happened out of nowhere. You didn't break your neck, did you?
I'm fine, I think. His face was close to mine. I couldn't look directly at him. I could feel my cheeks getting hot too.
Your face is pretty red. You're not running a fever, are you?
That's what they all say. Oh, it's just in this position is,
Possession?
Tojo looked down at the both of us, curious.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't realize. Is your head okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, she probably wanted him to be more flustered. Sorry, his heart sealed away. He could care less. When I lifted my head, Tojo removed his hand and slowly made to get... When I lifted my head, Tojo removed his hand and slowly made to get up. Right at that moment... Oh, she's like, baby! Whoa. The moment I heard Komame's gallant cheeping, Tojo stumbled forward and fell again! Oops, I did it again. Y'all are a little close there, guys. You see, you wouldn't know just by looking at this part. Oh my god, first kiss. Oh my god. The tropes, man. The tropes. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but like, the tropes! I felt something soft on my lips. Huh? For a second, I know it was more like, huh? For a second, I didn't quite comprehend what happened. What is this music? Jojo's lips were touching mine, not on purpose! Once I grasped the situation, my cheeks grew even hotter. It's probably your first time.
Oh, my bad.
He's just chill about it. Jojo realized right away this time and pulled himself away.
You see, Komama hit me on the head. She did.
Did she? She was probably, trying to deliver the finishing blow.
Oh.
Wrong person.
She was probably, trying to deliver the finishing blow.
She got you good. I was so rattled that I'd responded oddly. Did we just kiss? I mean, no. His kiss is more with the intent. But I don't know. My heart rate instantly picked up. My heart rate instantly picked up when I became aware of what just happened all over again. I knew it was just an accident. Even so, I was majorly losing my cool because that was my first ever kiss! Poor girlie. No, wait, what do I do now? Isn't that something only couples do? Dude, girl, just forget about it. Or just think of... Or you can be like, oh, and you get all flustered about it, I guess, but like... You're cool, girl, you did nothing wrong. Oh. I was suddenly reminded of the conversation I had at the tea party the other day when the lady said we make a good match and I should go after him. I shook my head, flustered. It's not like that between us, but what they'd said and the kiss we shared were the catalyst that made me feel extremely self-conscious around him. I was convinced those kinds of things would never happen to me. There was no way I could have known it would all come crashing down around me at once.
The weather's nice today. Oh, he's blushing.
Look at it, look at him.
The weather's nice. You see, it's clear. There's clouds. Yeah, look, there's clouds. Isn't that neat, Sue? I think that's pretty neat.
It really is. There was an awkward tension in the air. I could tell he was worried about me, which made it even more unbearable. Why did Komame have to go and do something weird like that? 'Cause she's weird. Cast a resentful glare at Komami's direction since she caused this mess, but the bird in question didn't seem to care at all. Probably enjoying her rice. Oh yeah, she was pecking at the rice scattered on the floor rather cheerfully, probably because she dealt a solid blow to her arch nemesis. It was a meal of victory. Chapter 5, Kunitaka Tojo! Several days had gone by since we last talked. Multiple Blightfall had appeared in the meantime, and to our Kagrin. All of them has gotten away. Unable to come up with an effective plan, the only Waban had fallen far behind. Everyone felt the same sense of urgency. Next time there might be casualties. Hence, as of yesterday, I was tasked with doing inspections to proactively seek out clues about the Blightfall in addition to gathering intel. There I was patrolling Samurai Town with Tojo and Tomonari, looking for signs a Blightfall might appear, as well as anyone who looked suspicious. Not much foot traffic around here, is there? Not really. Ever since the Blightfall started turning up, people had been cooped up inside or have taken refuge elsewhere.
Nothing's been done about the damaged mansions, so thieves might break in even when people are home. That's why we gotta patrol the area.
Really? Huh. I looked away from Tojo, who was strolling ahead of me. Oh, she's still thinking about it. She's so adorable. Ever since we kissed, not purposely. I've been too embarrassed to look him directly in the eye. It was just a coincidence, an accident, not something I should let bother me forever. As hard as I tried to convince myself, not letting it bother me was easier said than done. Anytime I was inadvertently reminded of the feeling of his lips touching mine, how warm they were, I was left absolutely rattled. I'm glad Tojo and I aren't on patrol alone together. We should be able to have fairly normal conversations as long as Tominari joins in. Right? I've been, or at least I think so. I peek over at Tojo. I never gave it much thought before, but he does have a very handsome, manly face. Come to think of it, weren't the ladies at the tea party gushing about that? Ah, look at her. She's falling for him. Looking at him was making my heart pound wildly, so I immediately averted my gaze. If he were a normal man, then maybe... I stopped my train of thought there. I'm such an idiot. He's a vessel. If he did hold a special place in my heart, it would just be a dead end anyway. Vessels didn't have hearts since they were born to take down Blightfall. Just because I couldn't stop thinking about him didn't mean anything would come of it. Maybe I was just misinterpreting how I felt about him because I was so shaken up by our kiss. If I can't get this off my mind, it might end up interfering with our mission. That'll be a huge inconvenience to everyone around me. I swept my messy emotions under the rug, mentally berating myself. I gotta pull myself together. I can't hold everyone else at a crucial moment. Oh, I gotta pull myself together. I can't hold everyone else back at a crucial moment like this. Gotta make sure I stay out of my own head. We're just teammates. We're just co-workers. You're saying that out loud, girl.
Soup? Soup?
Huh? Tojo had looked back at some point and was now staring at me with concern.
You've been muttering something to yourself. What's up?
Apparently I'd been saying my thoughts out loud without even realizing it. That was close. It doesn't seem he heard what I was saying, at least. No. As a matter of fact, I'm perfectly fine. I was so rattled that I gave a very strange response. That's a weird way of answering his question. No, it's not. It's totally normal.
Sure. By the way, could you check whether anything over there looks like an emotional... By the way, could you check whether anything over there looks like an emotional imprint to you?
Oh, sure. Emotional imprints. This isn't good. Need to focus on the mission. Exhaled and exhaled and changed emotional gears. Back to business. Whew. This isn't good. I need to focus on the mission. I don't see anything of the sort here.
Guess it won't be easy finding leads.
So... Oh, it froze. Yay. I love that. It's so great. I love it so much.
Guess it won't be easy finding leads.
Sorry. I might have found a lead if I were more... I might have found a lead if I were more capable after having that... might have found a lead if I were more capable. After having that thought, I found myself apologizing.
Nothing you need to apologize for.
Right. No, wait. A strange silence fell over the three of us. This is so awkward. Tominari looked at Tojo and I, puzzled. Did something happen between you two? He didn't do anything. I responded to his question purely by reflex before I even realized what I was doing. Huh? What didn't he do exactly? Crap. Slip of the tongue. Tomonari was just asking if anything had happened. The way I answered is just begging for some kind of bizarre misunderstanding. I misspoke. I meant to say it was nothing. Even I could tell I was a terrible liar. Or at very least a terminally bad actress. However. Glad nothing's wrong. God, nothing is wrong. To my surprise, Tomonari gave up without a fight. Wait, what? Did I seriously trick him with my hammy acting? Thank God Tomonari's so innocent and pure. The three of us continued patrolling, chatting, but not quite on the same page. He catching feelings.
What about over there, Soap?
Let me see. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. No signs of anyone suspicious either? We were looking for clues about Blightfall, but we were really just grasping at straws. One characteristic of Blightfall summon using cursed objects was that they didn't leave any traces, meaning I wasn't much use. How do we deal with Blightfall that appear out of nowhere? The people of Samurai Town can't live peacefully like this. Feeling a bit blue, I looked down on the ground. And Tojo gave me a quick pat on the head and looked up to find his kind eyes looking down at me.
Don't look so torn up about it. Not your fault we can't find any clues. That just goes to show how tough an opponent we're up against. We're not alone. If we team up, a path will open up eventually.
Tojo. He comforted me, sensing how depressed my cowardice and anxiety about the Blightfall was making me feel. It was hard to believe he didn't have a heart when he was so thoughtful and kind. He's such a great guy, and not only that, he's wonderful, and I wish I could be with him all the time. You like him, maybe a little love.
Girl, you're down bad emotionally.
What I'm feeling is, but the emotions that had sprouted in my heart had begun transforming into actual words.
Oh, no, sorry.
We immediately turned our attention to the abrupt scream we just heard.
What was that?
It came from the main road. Ooh. Listen to that cello. A huge crowd of people came running from the direction of the main street right as Tomonari said this. Oh, SpaghettiOs, they're all confused. One of the people running away bumped into my shoulder, causing me to stumble.
Careful now.
Tojo caught me just as I was about to fall again.
Come this way.
Thank you. In one fluid motion, he moved me to safety. My heart skipped for a second after being rescued by my crush. Oh shit, that's it! But then I was instantly reminded of the situation we were in.
Pardon me for a sec.
Tojo stopped one of the people who'd fled.
Did something happen over on Main Street?
A monster appeared over the end of Samurai Town.
That was all the man managed to utter before running off a second time. That was all the testimony we needed to grasp the situation.
It's a Blightfall finally decided to show up.
If we can get rid of it here, maybe we'll find some new leads.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
The three of us ran against the flow of the crowd, fleeing the scene. When we arrived, it was so quiet you would never thought a Blightfall had just appeared there.
There might not be anyone around because they all took shelter, but I'm not sure what to make of there being no Blightfall.
Does that mean it's already gone?
As we were talking, I spotted Kuga and Yoichi a little ways away. They seemed to have noticed us too, so we walked over to them.
You came too?
Thank you for your work, Kuga. So we heard a Blythefall appeared here.
We defeated it.
Oh, we defeated it just now while we were standing around twiddling your thumbs.
Huh?
For a second I thought I'd misheard him. Tojo and Tominari also looked surprised.
Really? It's perfectly reasonable that you'd find it hard to believe. But yeah, it's true.
How the heck did you take it down?
It was a difficult battle at first. We couldn't destroy it no matter how many times we slashed its mask with our swords. In the heat of battle, we noticed the Blythefall's body had these strange appendages that looks like bits of paper.
Bits of paper? Kuga nodded.
It was like the only thing It was the only odd thing we noticed about his. It's the only odd thing we noticed about its body. It reminded us of the Blythefall you mentioned defeating during the Tanichibo case. Destroying the Magatama also vanquished the Blythefall Connect. Destroying the Magatama also vanquished the Blythefall, correct?
I see.
Exactly. The Blythefall just now was quick and formidable, but we teamed up and took it down in no time. I see. Great job, you two.
We've been scouring the area, but haven't found any bewitched objects like we saw with Tanichibo. No signs of the summoner who might have been using it either. Apologies, but could I ask you to check the area one more time since you can see emotional imprints?
Understood. Leave it to me. I'll do whatever I can to be as helpful as Kuga and Yoichi. I eagerly agreed, feeling a lot of respect towards the two of them for taking down the Blythefall.
Either way, I'm impressed you managed to take it down. That's a huge step forward in solving this case.
Yeah, you're right.
Tojo had been spacing out for some reason, but immediately snapped back out of it.
Excellent job taking down the Blythefall. Leave it to you two to pull that off.
Huh? I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about the way he was freely giving Kuga and Yoichi compliments felt a little off.
Tominari will head back to the base ahead of time and inform Kyushiro then. Kyushiro.
Oh, okay. Got it. I'll be back after I check things out. It was only a split second before Tojo was back to his usual self, however. Guess it was just my imagination then. No way, it was just your imagination. Tominari tugged slightly at the sleeves of my kimono. Tominari tugged slightly at the sleeves of my kimono as I stood there, thinking to myself. What's the matter, Tominari? Maybe it's something about the Blythefall is bugging him? I'll wait for Tominari to respond when...
I'm worried that Yoichi might pick you, Soup. Want me to stay behind too?
What? Him? I was shocked to hear he had a bone to pick with Yoichi, not the Blythefall. I won't. What do you take me for? Yoichi was also exasperated by Tominari's unexpected remark. Tominari only said that because he was worried about me. I was very happy and thankful for Tominari's concern. You heard, Yoichi. I'll be fine. Thank you for worrying about me. I gazed directly into Tominari's eyes while thanking him to drive home how I felt. At first he looked a bit troubled, but then he gave me a sweet smile like he believed what I said.
All done? If so, let's leave the rest to them and head back to the base.
And Tojo, who'd been watching us converse, spoke up.
Thanks for taking care of the rest. And good luck, Soup.
Oh. Thanks. Then Tojo and Tominari headed back to the base.
you to check over this area straight away then?
Will do. The Blyfall was right over there when we came running over. Yoichi pointed nearby as he said this. We happened to be patrolling the area and arrived shortly after hearing someone scream, so it was probably spawned here. I'll start looking over there right away. Channeling my concentration so I wouldn't miss a thing, I started investigating with my focus on that area first. Afterwards, I examined every nook and cranny in the surrounding area with Kuga and Yoichi leading the way. It was entirely possible I might find a clue the two of them had overlooked. Or so I hoped, at least. However, things weren't going so well. No matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find any clues that might lead us to the Blightfall. I am sorry. I looked, but I didn't really see any emotional imprints. Kuga slowly shook his head when I said this.
No, it was really helpful for you to check. If you weren't able to find anything either, it means there truly wasn't anything to be found.
If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. No need to let it get you down. I guess you're right. I felt bad after enthusiastically telling everyone to count on me. If only there was something around here covered in black threads, like the Magatama from the Tenichibo case, we might be able to learn something. Convenient! Just then, I heard the sound of wreckage crumbling nearby, perhaps debris giving away under its own weight. It sounded like one of the walls of a house destroyed by a Blightfall had collapsed. Kuga and Yoichi ran over and took care of the Blightfall almost immediately, and it still managed to cause enough damage to wreck houses and fences. Compared to the damage I'd seen before, this was relatively minor. Still, I felt sick thinking of the immense amount of fear it had struck. I noticed different material pinned beneath the rubble. I wonder if that might be... I crouched down to get a closer look. What's the matter? Something stuck here. I tried to move the rubble out of the way as I said this, but... It was much heavier than I expected that... It was so much heavier than I expected that, helpless as I was, couldn't get to budge. Then Kuga came and stood beside me.
I'll take over. Under this?
Yes, exactly. Kuga easily moved the debris I had been struggling with out of the way. Wow, thank you so much. After expressing my thanks, I wasted no time checking what had been pinned beneath it. What is this? I picked up the object and gave it a closer look. It looked like a normal piece of wood, slightly shorter than a chopstick. Black threads were curled all around it. A stick? What's the big deal? It's covered in emotional imprints, like the Magatama from the Tenichibo case.
What? Is it? What? It is?
Kuga bent over too. He and Yoichi stared intently at the stick in my hands.
It just looks like a stick to me. I don't see any characters or symbols written on it.
But if there's black threads on it, does that mean this regular-ass stick was the cursed object used to control the Blightfall? Seems kinda weird that someone would use a stick as a summoning medium. He's not wrong. It doesn't feel right calling it a cursed object.
Still, an object covered in black threads was found where a Blightfall spawned. I find it hard to believe they're unrelated. For now, it's an important piece of evidence. Let's bring it back to us to the base.
Kuga took the stick from me and tucked it inside of his kimono. I was a tad bit relieved that I found something that might be a clue.
We might have defeated the Blightfall, but that doesn't mean much if we let the person controlling it get away.
Cool.
Next time, we should probably switch up our strategy and look for the summoner while keeping the Blightfall alive.
The summoner. True. We'll just be stuck going in circles if we let them go away. Get away.
Well, it's not up to us to decide our next course of action. We'll present the odd... It froze again.
Fuck. Well, it's not up to us.
Well, it's not up to us to decide our next course of action. We'll present the idea to Kiyoshiro.
For now, it seemed like our investigation here was done. I'm glad I was a little bit useful. I suddenly realized Kuga was staring at me. Is something the matter?
I was just thinking. There's so much information to be obtained when you have someone who can see around. Wish I had that sort of manpower over in Castletown.
We can just ask whenever we need her help. We can just ask whenever we need her help. She was pretty handy to have around, though. Anyway, can I go? I want to get back to work soon.
I have no problem with that. I'll take the cursed object we recovered back to the base.
Thanks for taking care of the rest. With that, Yoichi quickly departed.
Let's get going too, then.
Sounds good. After watching Yoichi go, Kuga and I walked back to the base together. Back to base. When we got there, Kuga left to submit the cursed object to Kiyoshiro. I returned to my room for a moment where Kamame cheerfully welcomed me back.
Chai!
I'm back, Kamame. I'm back, Kamame. Were you a good girl?
Chai! Very good.
Watching Kamame happily hopping up and down automatically put me at ease. It's a beautiful day. Want to come outside with me for a little bit?
Chai!
Enticed by the lovely weather, I brought Kamame with me to the garden. It was incredibly calm here, a far cry from dealing with the Blightfall incident earlier today. That reminds me, it's just about time for lunch. It's break time. I wonder if anyone else is around. Oh. He's smoking. Yeah, he's literally smoking. And there he was. And there was, I saw Tojo. He was in the garden all by himself, smoking leisurely. Guess Tominari's not around, just Tojo. I instinctively jumped the second I spotted him. Whenever we were alone together, I found myself acting suspiciously because no matter what I did, I was reminded of when we kissed, even though it wasn't a real kiss. How long am I gonna let that bother me? It was just an accident. I hid out of sight, taking deep breaths to calm myself down. A Kamame, who'd been sitting on my head, seemed to have noticed Tojo in the garden. Kamame gave the surprised chirp before jumping off me and fleeing back to the house. Huh? Kamame? Kamame's chirping me. Tojo looked my way.
Oh, hi there. Didn't know you were back.
I just returned. There wasn't much more I could do now that I'd been caught. I did my best to act cool and collected so he wouldn't be able to tell how rattled I was.
Komame's not with you? Thought I heard chirping just now.
Well, she is. She was, but she took off. It felt a little different from her usual reaction, where she just tries to avoid you.
Oh, she hates it when I smoke too. She probably feels the need to flee when her arch nemesis is smoking.
Yeah, well, smoking's not that good for you,
Even though y'all wouldn't know that in this period of time. He smiled bitterly before snuffing out his pipe.
My bad. It's probably smoky from my pipe.
Oh no, I'm fine.
It'll still smell like the smoke though. Don't worry about it. not smoking around you is just one of my personal rules.
Oh, thank you. His kind concern made me happy, but it was also making my heart race so wildly I couldn't compose myself.
I was careful not to smoke around Komame, but oh well. That might be another reason why she hates me.
A question popped into my head. That reminds me, why does he smoke? Oh, I think I accidentally spoiled myself on this. Because, I saw what- I won't get into it, but I think I spoiled myself too exactly why. Many men, both young and old, had a fondness for smoking. But come to think of it, Tojo was the only member of the Oniwaban who partook. Do you like smoking? Before I knew it, I found myself asking him.
Where's this coming from?
Just want to ask. No one else in the Oniwaban smokes. I just thought it was odd that you're the only one who does.
Oh, true. None of the other guys smoke because we have zero need for luxuries.
Zero need? I whispered this under my breath. Humans didn't need luxuries either. They were purely for pleasure, after all. The fact that they were non-essential made them luxuries. But that didn't seem to be what he meant just now. Does he mean they don't need them because their hearts are sealed off? The thought made my heart ache slightly.
Smoking's just a habit. I don't love it or hate it. It helps me clear my mind, though. So while I get that Komame hates it, this is the one thing I can't quit. Even my doctor told me, come on, you gotta stop smoking or you're gonna get lung cancer or mouth cancer or any of that shit. I'm like, hell no. So I'd rather die smoking than live without it. I don't know.
He took his tobacco and placed it inside the pouch in his hand as he said this. Isn't that the tobacco pouch you always have at your hip, Tojo? When I asked that, he held out the pouch, saying that, yes, it was.
It's my favorite.
The pouch in Tojo's hand did have a lot of wear and tear. It wasn't luxuriously decorated, but I could tell that it had been carefully constructed with quality materials just by looking at it. He really treasures that pouch. Something about it gives me similar vibes to Tojo. I wondered why. Maybe the color? I didn't have any reason to think that. I just did for some reason. Objects did sometimes come to resemble their owners, if the existence of form folk were anything to go by. It's a lovely tobacco pouch.
You think so? Thanks. Oh, you like that? Well, you like that? Thanks. Well, I think I know why, Bella. Oh, you complimented my tobacco patch. So that's the way to get into a guy's heart.
He smiled a bit awkwardly before hanging the pouch from his hip.
By the way, how'd it go with Genjuro and Yoichi? Did you make any progress after I left?
Oh, right. We did. Excitedly, I told him that we found a stick covered in black threads. He seemed surprised, but was interested in hearing about the stick.
We wouldn't have found that clue if you hadn't been there. Good work.
I didn't do all that much. Kuga and Yoichi were the ones who defeated the Blightfall. Kuga and Yoichi are terrible. I was about to say terrible? Why? Kuga and Yoichi were incredible. Taking out a Blightfall that tough.
Yeah.
Oh, he wish it was you, didn't it? His expression grew more conflicted as he said this. Speaking of which, he had the same look on his face earlier. Is something wrong?
Huh?
You just don't seem very upbeat. When I pointed this out, Tojo looked at me with a touch of surprise before scratching his head in embarrassment.
You got me there. Guess I'm an open book. I suppose I was a little jealous of you giving Genjuro so many compliments. I was not expecting that. I mentioned earlier that Genjuro and I were born as vessels around the same time, right?
You did? He's a few months your senior, right? Tojo gave a firm nod.
People used to compare Genjuro. People used to compare Genjuro and I at every opportunity, probably because we were born around the same time. Genjuro does everything flawlessly. I can be a bit clumsy in comparison. I couldn't pull things off as well as he could. That's probably why I still find myself feeling self-conscious about this to this day. He has absolutely no clue about any of this, though. It's all one-sided on my part.
I see. I wasn't expecting him to say this, so it took me by surprise. So he's jealous of Kuga. No, wait. Maybe it's more of an inferiority complex. That's an emotion not far off from what humans feel, isn't it? I believe vessels lacked hearts. Knowing he had such emotional depth made him feel even more human to me. Maybe vessels are humans. Maybe vessels and humans weren't all that different.
Jeez, I really shouldn't blab about this. Or jeez, I really shouldn't blab about this kind of thing whenever I talk to you. Not a word of this to anyone else. Please. Not a word of this to anyone else, please. I'll buy you your favorite dessert later.
He was blatantly treating me like a little kid. Didn't find it very funny.
Not bad. You're just so easy to read.
Oops. Guess I let my feelings show. How embarrassing. Tojo smiled gently as he looked at me. Seeing him smile made my heart ache. Heartaches, heartaches. Me loving you means heartache. I feel like I've got something bottled up inside me. He shot me a very serious look, sensing my discomfort.
Allow me to apologize again, Soup. I'm sorry about earlier.
What? I said, startled. By earlier, he most likely meant when we kissed by accident.
I can tell it's been bothering you, even though it was an accident. Makes total sense that you can't stop thinking about it. You're a young woman, after all. Things have been a bit awkward, but fortunately, it hasn't affected our work. Still, we can't let this continue. Let's put it behind us. Let's pretend it never happened in the first place for your sake. I know it's probably asking too much for you to forget right away, so please take your time.
Or yet? I could tell he was just trying to be kind in his own way. Still, his idea deeply upset me. My head was spinning.
Like, damn.
Why does it bother me so badly? All he said was to forget it ever happened. Maybe I don't want to forget. Come to think of it, I didn't mind him kissing me, in fact. Does that mean as soon as I became aware of my own feelings, I could feel my heartbeat quicken the second it dawned on me. You like him?
You okay? Your face is red.
I'm fine. My bizarre behavior earned a curious stare from him. Okay. I'm gonna stop it here, because I'm getting a little bit busy. It says I've been doing it for a little over an hour, but I think I started recording a bit before I actually started. So, oops, sorry. But yeah. We got some progress and an accidental kiss and a fall to each other's arms kind of thing. Ooh. Oh yeah, I had fun with this. Next up will be Steins Gate. Which I'm super excited to going back to, because it's freaking Steins Gate. But yeah. See you next time.
Bye.